On Saturday, April 19th, the Needham History Center and Museum, along with the Arlington Historical Society, will be co-sponsoring the Needham2Arlington Community Walk. The walk follows the 12.6-mile route that the Needham militia took to answer the Lexington alarm. But this year's event is special as it coincides to the day with the 250th anniversary of the first battle of the American Revolution. Here's Derick Risner with more.
Everybody has heard of Lexington and Concord, and they really sort of get all the attention. But the biggest battle of the day was in fact later in what is known as the Battle of Monotony, mostly focused around the Jason Russell Farm, which is actually now the headquarters of the Arlington Historical Society. That's where the Needham militia ended up.
The idea of retracing the steps that the Needham militia took on that fateful day was first conceived by Kevin Keene. He was inspired after reading the book Paul Revere's Ride by David Hacker Fisher.
In there were bits and pieces about what other towns did, and Needham popped up a few times. I talked to Gloria Grice at the Needham History Center Museum and asked her, like, do we know the road? And it turns out some in the Needham History Center had done the work years and years ago. And we know the route. We know where they left from, and we know where they joined the battle. Me and some friends sort of did the walk as a test to see if it would work, and it was great. It was exhausting. It's 12.6 miles.
Kevin Keene and others have done the walk annually as a private event since 2019. However, due to COVID, they've not been able to make it a public event until 2022.
And it is kind of amazing to arrive at the Jason Russell House. It's a bit like the pilgrimage of you actually walk the road.
Of the nearly 200 militia Needham sent to the battle, 2 were injured and 5 lost their lives. Now remember, this is just one day of the war. To put that into perspective, Needham lost a total of 6 residents for the entirety of the Korean War. Since 2022, the Needham History Center has co-sponsored the walk, which has been held annually on a Saturday in April.
This year, through delightful coincidence, it actually falls on the exact 250th anniversary of the Lexington alarm, April 19th, 2025. So we're doing a little bit extra. Everybody gets swag. We have t-shirts, and I think we have magnets this year. And when you get to Arlington, there's a box lunch. The VFW is there for wreath laying. There are tours of the Jason Russell House.
This is an event that will be co-hosted by the Arlington Historical Society. And on the day of the event, the Arlington Historical Society will be unveiling a brand new exhibit that you can be the first to see.
On April 19th, we will be unveiling a new special exhibition called Untold Stories, which will talk about voices of the overlooked, centennial reflections, and of course how that incorporates into the Battle of Monotony. So if you want to learn about the Battle of Monotony, go through our current exhibition. That'll take you and find objects specifically in the battle. What this does is supplements and talks about other unknown perspectives, including enslaved people, women, centennial reflections, and how that culminated into what history is written and the broader narrative of the entire battle.
Now this sounds like something that I'm more than willing to walk for. However, perhaps you'd like to participate, but walking 12.6 miles, that's not exactly your cup of tax-free tea. Well, this year, there's a new option for you.
To allow more people to participate, we're also offering a bus. It'll follow the same route, and there'll be a tour guide, me. There'll be a tour guide on the bus, sort of narrating the route as and the story as it goes. And then when you get to the Jason Russell House, you too get your t-shirt and your lunch and your tour of the Jason Russell House.
And then people in the bus get a ride back to Needham because they bought a ticket. People who walked, just like the Boston Marathon, after you run the Boston Marathon, you find your own way home.
The walk will commence from Townsend Green on Saturday, April 19th at 8:45 a.m. Or if you would rather ride the bus, that will leave from the Needham History Center and Museum, 1147 Central Avenue, at 1:30 p.m. But whether you decide to walk or ride, you will need to register. For more information or to learn how to register, please go to needhamhistory.org. The deadline for registration is April 16th, and seating on the bus is limited.
We should be really proud of what Needham did on April 19, 1775. It was heroic and spectacular, and it was daring, and it came at great cost to them.
It's my personal goal to put us on the map. Majority of the battle happened here in Menominee, and I think it's important to at least talk about that.
Local history, what happens in the small towns, is the engine of history. And this gives us a really good way of illustrating that. So you get this sort of, oh, nothing ever happened here. It's like, no, everything happened here. Everything happened here because it doesn't happen out there until it happens here.
So I hope to see you in Arlington. For the Needham Channel News, I'm Derick Risner.